Here we go with another Animate tutorial for beginners. One of the things I hear most from beginners when they start working with Animate, and the biggest wall that they hit, is they feel like they can't draw. And that's a common problem. And drawing is just something that comes with years of practice. Like, some people are obviously lucky and naturally talented. But Animate, there's certain techniques that you can play around with to help you get satisfying images or characters or whatever you want. So we're going to look at that today. So the first thing we want to do, just like the other times, we want to hit this screen. We want a full HD canvas. And I'm going to get a reference image that I found in the sample files in the Adobe Animate suite. I just stole this pig because I thought, okay, this pig's drawn with shapes. It's all shapes, and I think I can recreate that. Well, I'm going to try and recreate that. So here we go. You don't have to do, like, you can, I want you to follow along with me, but you don't have to have this image. You can sort of just eyeball it off the screen. I'm going to be drawing it by eyeballing it. I'm not going to be drawing over the top of it. The first thing I'm going to do, and if you do happen to find, you can go and get this image if you want to. If you want to put a reference image in, you just lock that layer and start, and you can even rename it. I'll rename this reference pig. New layer. Whoop, special characters. Okay, so I'm going to start with the shape of the body. I think that's going to be fairly easy. So I'm going to grab my oval tool because it's sort of like an egg shape. I'm going to get my color swatches here, and let's go with this one. I think's fairly similar. I'm not going to worry about getting the colors identical. That's fair. That is very, very close anyway. So get the rough shape like so. And what you can do, the shortcut, I guess, if you've got your oval tool still selected, if you hold Control, you can hover over the outside edge of your shape. So that's when you hold Control, you'll see that little semicircle pop up under your arrow, and that means you can grab that edge. So if I just sort of make this like, it comes down here and then it's out here a little bit more, which we got, and then this bit up here is a little bit less, kind of sort of more egg shape, and I'm relatively happy with that. That'll do. Done. Double click this body. Oh, one thing that you might get in trouble with actually is, and if you've got things selected, they'll have little dots all over them. If you hit escape, usually, no. What's my deselect here? Hang on, wait a second. Deselect all, Control Shift A. That seems like a pain. Deselect all, Control Shift A. Let me just go through this for a second, because sometimes when you're holding Control, you can accidentally double click, and then it won't let you grab those edges. It'll only let you move the whole shape. So keep an eye out for that. If I hit escape there, it comes back out, and then I don't know why it didn't let me hit escape before, but anyway, just something to keep in mind. So we've got our body shape. Now I'm going to create a new layer, and we're going to do some little eyeballs. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to zoom in here and have a quick look. So they're fairly circular, like they're like oval, and then they've just been kind of rotated. So so to zoom in, obviously you go Control plus and minus. Control plus and minus. Just trying to remember the shortcut to go side to side. Anyway, it'll come to me. Okay, so eyeballs. Let's go with white eyeballs. And we're going to do each eyeball in a separate layer, because if we want to animate them separately later, we can do that. So this can be my left eyeball, and I want to kind of get it roughly the same size, so I'm just eyeballing the eyeball. I want to rotate this now, so I'm going to get my free transform tool here, click it, and kind of rotate it. I think it's a little big, so I can sort of get in, and you'll notice it's kind of hard to work with right now. I'm going to zoom in, and if you zoom right in, it's a fair bit easier to work with. Zoom out and just see if that's roughly what we want. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, if I look at this guy, I'm going to have to recreate it and kind of rotate the shape. So I'm coming back over. I wish I could remember the shortcut to like slide this bar along. Alright, so I'm going to copy this. It's selected, so I know it's selected by that, so I'm going to Control C, copy, and I'm just going to rename this right eye ball. Oh, let's go don't show again. Special characters not permitted in layer names. Cool. And we're going to make this my left eyeball. It's saying that I can't have spaces, so it's putting underscores. Control Shift V will paste in place, so I can just move that to the side, and we want to rotate that just slightly. Let's have a look. Yeah, that looks alright. Their eyes are a bit closer together, so I can use my arrow keys to kind of put the eyeballs a bit closer together. Cool, happy with that. Let's put the pupils in. So again, another layer. Don't forget your layers with these things, because it'll make the animating later on a bit easier. Let's go right pupil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag that down above my right eyeball layer. So all it needs to be is above that right eyeball layer, and we're good. So again, actually, yeah, no, let's do this. Actually, what we're going to do, I sort of want it to be really even. So I want the shape of this, but a pupil, so I'm going to go to my right eyeball there. It's already selected. As soon as I clicked on that layer, it selected it. So I'm going to copy that. So I can go up here and go edit, copy, or I can Control C. Go back to my right pupil. Make sure you're on the right pupil layer. Control Shift V. And then I'm going to, it's already selected, so I can change the color of it. So let's grab a pupil color, and that's kind of like a brown. It's like a dark brown. Let's go with I think it's that. Anyway, that brown will do. Free transform, and let's zoom right in. And I'm going to grab the edge, then I'm going to hold Shift, and it'll keep that shape. Let's see if that's about the same size, roughly. Actually, let's have a closer look at this eyeball here. It's kind of got more space there than it does here. So what I need to do is just move my eyeball, my pupil down slightly. So I'm just going to grab it a little bit like that. And I'm going to use my arrow keys to sit it exactly where I want it. Cool. So now I need to do the same with the left. So I'm going to click that layer. It automatically selects it. Edit, copy. We need to create a new layer. Rename it left pupil. Don't worry about spelling and stuff like that. Like, as long as you know what it is, that's all that matters. Okay, so if I Control Shift V, there we go. So now I've got that shape again. What I can do is I can press I for eyedropper. Oh, can I? Oh no, sorry, I'm still clicked in here. I'm typing in here. So if I just click there again, hit I for eyedropper, and I can get the color of that eye there. We want to get our free transform again. Grab a corner handle, hold shift, get it to roughly the same size as the other one. Exactly the same size if you can. We're going to kind of move it. They look like little eggs. Okay, cool. Let's have a crack at doing the nose. And you'll sort of see, I'll just zoom in a bit over here. You'll see that it's a nice and symmetrical shape. And symmetrical shapes are hard to do. If I try to do that on an angle and pull it out sort of to the left, it gets tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and recreate that symmetrical shape of the nose and then rotate it. I think it'll be a little bit easier. So let's get that like a rough. Actually, I'm just going to start stealing the colors from here. And if you hopefully, yeah. But don't worry, just grab a rough color for you guys. So, whoa, we don't want that. We want no stroke. I don't know why that come up. So if you accidentally get a stroke, obviously you click on this bottom bit that represents the stroke and go no stroke. Oh, and I forgot to add a layer. So maybe just have a look through, because it's very easy to do. Check to make sure you've got all your things in the right layers, and I'll show you what you do if you haven't. So let's say that's my nose, and I've made a nose layer where it's not in there, and I know that there's nothing in that layer because everything that has something in this layer in the timeline has a grey. I'm just going to put a frame there so you can see it a bit better. Actually, that's a bad example to put it into. So everything that's got a drawing in the frame has a black dot, and this has no black dot, which means it's an empty frame. So that's a hint. And to find stuff, I guess, what you can look at, you can just sort of go through and go, oh wait, left pupil, my nose is gone. So what I'll do is I select it. So they're both selected at the moment, the pupil and the nose. If I just deselect it by clicking away, click Control X, and then I go into my correct layer and then Control Shift V, which will paste it in exactly the same place. You can see now that my nose is here. So if you've accidentally done that, just maybe go through and have a look to make sure everything's in the right layers. Doesn't matter too much for the purpose of the drawing, but if we will probably try and animate this character later on. I'm going to delete that for a second. Probably try and animate that character, and if you've got things in weird layers and not labeled correctly, it can be hard. So get into the habit of getting them in the right layers. Okay, so I'm going to create this kind of pig nose shape, and I'm just going to get the sub select tool. So if mine's hidden here under the selection tool, you got to click and hold on it and get the sub select tool. And I'm just going to click, I think I have to, yeah I do, I have to click on the outline. You'll see a little black dot appear on your mouse, and you'll get this. And what I'm going to try and do is click a point to select it, and then click over here and hold shift, and you'll see that if I zoom in, there's all these little white points and then there's blue points. So I've got the blue points selected. I'm going to hit my down arrow, and you can see that I'm starting to change the shape, and I'm doing that trying to do it symmetrically. So I'm going to go to these two next, click and hold shift and click, and you can see I've got these two selected and the rest of them not. I'm going to just hit my down arrow again a little bit. And then I'm going to get this one that's in the middle, just singular, and press up a couple of times. And actually, I'm going to get rid of these anchor points because I want a nice smooth line from there to there. So I've skipped this step. I did it earlier. There's a delete anchor point tool. You might have it. It's usually underneath the pen tool. But if you don't have it, have a look for the edit toolbar. And there's lots of different tools that you can just click and drag in. You want this one. So wait, I wonder if I can put that back. I can. You can drag, you can make your toolbar, like if you don't use certain things, you can drag. I wonder if I can just drag and drop that somewhere. Yep, puts it back there. I'll put it back just in case I need it. But yeah, we're looking for the delete anchor point pen, which will be handy for our drawing right now. And to get rid of this, the drag and drop tool menu, you can just click that. So we're looking for this, delete anchor point, and we're gonna try and click right on those little white dots. And you can see that our nose is staying quite symmetrical. Theirs is a little bit more rounded, kind of like a J shape. So what I'm going to do, sub-select tool again. So this one, the white one. And I'm going to grab these two and just bring them slightly in a bit. Well, I'm going to bring them in, so I don't want to select both of them actually. So I'm going to click one to deselect the other. No, won't let me. I'm going to click this one to deselect them. Then click this one. I'm going to hit the arrow key. And I'm going to count the amount of times I hit it till I get it right. So it's going in this way. That way. I'm looking at my camera that way. So I hit it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times. And then I'm going to click this one and hit it towards the middle of the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. And I'm going to do the same here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just a little bit. 4 in. You don't have to follow this. Here. Shift. Click that. Shift. Click it. I wonder if I can. No, it won't let me. It'll do. I'm just going to make this a little bit more rounded by grabbing them. It's not going to be perfectly symmetrical, but that's okay. It's good enough. And I'm happy with that nose. I mean, it's not... Actually, I probably want to just bring all the sides in together a little bit more. But I'm going to do that with this tool. So get my selection tool, click on it, freeform, and just squish it up a tiny bit. Then we rotate it. Then we stick it. It sort of covers the bottoms of our pupils from memory. And I think it's a little bit more, probably more like that. It'll do anyway. Cool. And then get it in the right spot. And that's fairly symmetrical. I'm happy with that. It's a bit smaller than the other one. Let's hold shift and bring it up. Then we want to bring it down so it's not covering all of our eyeballs. Done. Cool. So let's do some nostrils. So we're going to get a new layer. Double click. Nostril. I'm just going to go nostrils, both in the same layer. They're not the same size. Again, they're ovals they're tilted on an angle. And the color's kind of hard to find in here, so we're just going to get a bit of a... Let's just go with a grey. Grey nostrils. I've gone back to my stroke color. Control Z. Get rid of my stroke color. There. What I can actually do with this... So let's go left nostril, and let's go right nostril slightly bigger. Oh no, grey's cool. I'm happy with grey. So what I did there, I get my select tool, I click one, I shift click the other. I'm going to get my free transform, and I'm going to sit it in place, kind of pull it down a bit. Beautiful. That'll do. I actually think, see how his forehead isn't as big, but I'm getting fussy. I'm not even going to worry about it. Right, let's do the mouth. Okay, so we want to get... I'm just going to stick with the grey of the nostrils for the back part of the mouth, and then the pink of the nostril for the tongue. So what we've got here, this is interesting. This is going to be we're going to get a mouth as if it's fully open. And then I'm going to get the line tool, and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to draw straight across here, and I'm going to get my selection tool, and I'm going to click on the top half and delete. I'm going to click on this bit that overhangs, delete. I'm going to click on this bit that overhangs, delete. I'm going to click on this bit here, delete. And then what I can do is, there's my mouth. And that'll do. We want to get, oh, see how I forgot my layers. So I'm going to click, Control X to cut, new layer, mouth. Control Shift V. It'll be back where it was in the mouth layer. Beautiful. So cool. Let's have a look in comparison. Yeah, theirs is a little bit more sort of like that, and it's a bit more rotated like that. Cute. Now we want the tongue. Okay, so same thing again. We're going to grab our line tool, and over here I'm going to cut you're sort of cutting straight across where the tongue intersects, like that. Select tool, and I'm going to delete, and before we delete this bit, we're going to grab a fill tool. Actually, we're going to grab eye for eyedropper. We're going to get this nose color, so click on the eye, and then that'll automatically default us to the fill tool, and we click on that. V for select. We want to select that line, so see I've selected that line, and delete. And then we can, with our select tool, how does the tongue even look? Oh yeah, it's a little bit up. Beautiful. Our pig is coming to life. I'm going to speed through these details right now. So like there's just little pink circles and a belly. Because we've got a leg here, that's going to be in another layer. So I'm going to do the full belly. You'll see it in fast motion. I'm going to speed it up. Cool. Now, what we want to do for this, you might find that color isn't actually, you can't find it there. So what you want to do is grab this, because it's just a lighter version of that. You go up here to your color palette right there, and what you can do is, here's your brightness, so you can turn that down. I was looking for this before because of the nose. I could have got that color with the nose. Actually, oh no, I won't even worry about it now. But brightness for this all the way up to 100, and then saturation. If I go to 0, it's white. So this stands for hue, saturation, brightness. So if we just drop the saturation to like 6% on that, and let's look at that. It's probably not quite enough. It depends on your screen, really. My screen's not great with colors, actually. But anyway, so we'll try that. Yes, that looks good to me. Grab my... And that'll do. I'm happy with something like that. So, what's bugging me is the shape of this. I'm going to go down to my body. Just play around with the shape of this a little bit. I could completely stuff it up, but I will. So, escape. No, I've got to click off it. Bring it down. Bring that in. Bring that down. Bring it in. That's a bit better. It'll do. Okay. Now that I fixed that, we want to do the ears. So the ears are similar to how we did the mouth. It's the same color as the nose. So again, I've clicked on my mouth layer and I've got all this. See, I do it all the time too. It's so easy to do. So I'm just going to go through and select all of the pig details. Control X. Let's just go body details. Enter. Control Shift V, and then they're there in their own layer. Let's go left ear. Okay, so let's select that. Let's go eye for eyedropper and just grab the color from the nose. And we're going to go with the line again. Probably don't want a pink. Oh, it's not going to do pink. Let's just go straight through the middle. V for select. Click on this bit, delete. Click on this bit, delete. Click on this bit, delete. Click on that bit, delete. And then we can play around with the shape of our ear. That'll do. Ear's just going to sit behind. It's way bigger than the other one. Look at that. But anyway. Free transform. Rotate it. And let's drop that left ear right down the bottom. Probably above my reference image there. So it's below the body. To keep consistency, let's just copy that into another layer. Or what we could probably do instead, and delete that layer that I just made. Delete. Let's just go right click, duplicate layers, and then there's left ear copy, but I'm just going to go right ear. I've done it the wrong way around. Let's go to the left ear and move that over here. Just so I don't have to rename my layers. Cheating. Make it a bit skinnier. Cool. Make that a bit skinnier too. I'm going to drop this down here so when I rotate it, it sort of rotates around the white dot there. Wicked. I'm starting to really like the look of my pig. All I've got now to do is the arms and the legs, and then we're done. So, legs are fairly similar. Notice how these ones are different colors though. I guess that's just the shading of it. So the legs are down here with our ear layers. So somewhere down, if you have it down here, just below your body somewhere, and go new layer. Start with this this one here. Let's go, so that's back left leg. Enter. And what sort of shape do we have here? It's kind of like a triangle, but then it's like a circle. Let's start with the circle. This one's actually stumped me a little bit. I'll figure it out though. I need to Control Z that because I've got bloody stroke color on again. I'm gonna worry about the color in a second. Maybe I get like the rough shape, go to my sub select, and then click on the outside and just grab one of these points here. This will work. Maybe. Get my delete anchor point, delete that, and delete that. And I want to make this really a fine point. So if I zoom in on it, I've got go back to my sub select. Gonna bring it right into the middle. Yes, there we go. Wicked. There's my leg. Just got to recolor it now. Well, it's got a kind of a... I'm going to go back to my selection tool because I want to grab the outside here just a little bit. Maybe grab that. Give it a little bit more shape. Ugh, I think I made it worse. I'm cool with it. It's not as pointy and nice. I could go in here if I wanted to fix that and delete an anchor point. Pow. There we go. That's better. And then let's go here to get the color in there. So I want to get my select. Delete the sides off here first. Doesn't really matter what order. We want like a darker pigskin. So we're going to have to get our pigskin color first. So I for eyedropper. And then let's go to our color palette and let's turn down the brightness just slightly. See how it looks like a shadowy. Anyway, that's too much. Let's go up a bit. A little bit more. There we go. It's a bit more subtle. When I put it up against that, you'll see the difference. And then we want to get that color. And I think that's pretty much the same color as the eyes. So I'm just going to eye for eyedropper. Click on there. Get my select tool, so we've got a stroke color there that we don't want. And there's our leg. Oh, trying to zoom out. And now what we want to do is select everything. So you'll accidentally maybe do that. So hold shift and click both, or you can drag over all of it. I wonder if it'll make me, oh yeah. Be careful though, because you can select like parts of your pig that you don't want. So it's probably better to just, I think if you double click, that sometimes works with the stroke. Never mind. So select it all. And there's your little pig foot. And let's just recreate that and go duplicate layer. I'm being lazy here. I could draw that again, but I can't be bothered. Back. I'm going to call it an arm. Back left arm. Get rid of the word copy. And I'm going to grab it and chuck it up here and make it real skinny. I mean, smaller. I shouldn't have been lazy. Oh no, that'll work. So if I grab, this is called the skew. If I grab the middle handle there, I can kind of skew it. If I want to put that thing down there, then I can, yay. When I animate it later, it's good to have these white dots in the right spots. So they rotate around. Oh, make sure that's all selected. Nice. And then I probably won't be able to get away with... I should have drawn that because these need a little bit of a curve that I can just see. And that... Oh no, that'll kind of do. They look way better, way nicer. These arms and legs are the same color as the pig, so they'll be a bit easier. I'm going to speed this one up, do the same thing. In fact, I might just grab my leg here, copy it, new layer. It's got to be above the body though. So new layer, right leg, Control Shift V, paste. Oh, it's actually got to be above all of this. So if you click and drag that layer, let's put it right at the top. About there. Oh, that actually looks really similar. Did I even change the color of that? I don't think I did. So let's go in here and go down. There we go. That worked, but I did it way too dark. So let's just go 88. Yeah, 88. I can type it in. Cool. And let's copy this again. Control C. Right arm. Control Shift V, puts it there. We've got to change the color though. We've got to change the sides a bit. And to change the color, I'm just going to select the bit that we want to change the color of, hit the eye for eyedropper, and get the skin color. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, but if I hide this, that's heaps cleaner. But I'm fairly happy with that. We can animate that because of how we've set it up in all these different layers, and I think we'll attempt to do that in the next video. So good job on you doing your pig. Don't be too fussy on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself and fussy with what you've done. It's really easy to fall into that. And for somebody who's never seen that pig before to come in and have a look at that, they're not going to notice the little imperfections that I noticed because I created it like this. I don't like that. I was lazy there. I should have remade it, but yeah, who cares for this? Like we're just learning how to draw. So, all right, well done. See you in the next video. We're going to try and animate this pig.